Welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Weigel. Today's episode, Hollow Earth Expedition. This is a pulp-era role-playing game, but this, unlike a lot of other pulp games, really focuses in on one specific era. We're going to break this review down into really three parts. We're going to break it down into a setting, we're going to break it down into the engine, and we're going to break it down into sort of the mood of it. We'll do that in reverse order. Mood first. This is what they call adventure pulp role-playing. This harkens to the likes of Indiana Jones. It harkens to the likes of The Mummy. It harkens to the likes of almost up to The Rocketeer if you really wanted to push it that far. That brings with it a certain set of ideas. One is that psionic powers really aren't that rampant like you would see in something like the Spider or the Shadow. It also harkens in that, while you have two-fisted heroes able to mete out some pretty good battle when they need to, you're not the Phantom. You're not Doc Savage. So really, Indiana Jones and The Mummy are a nice way to look at this. Along with the engine, one of the main complaints is it's really easy to fail and fall down. Honestly, how many times does Indiana Jones fail in a movie? I mean, really, how many times does he actually get it right? Or does he more often fall off the back of the tank and barely hang on? This really brings in that era with it. Now, in terms of the setting, the idea here is this game is based on a lot of the mythologies that the world is hollow, that the world is empty, and that there is more civilizations or ancient civilizations down there you can crawl through and take a look at. One of the ideas of the game, and I might be bringing up a little bit of a spoiler here, but if you don't know you're going into the Hollow Earth from the title of the game, then you're not paying enough attention, is that you get into the Hollow Earth somehow, either through a cave system or a big whirlpool or some mysterious ancient transport device, and you're stuck down there. And there are civilizations that are sort of trapped in time. So there's dinosaurs running around. There's caveman civilizations. Please don't sue me, Geico. There's some Roman civilizations that you could run into. Everything you'd almost ever think about in something like Tales of the Golden Monkey, or, wow, that's dating me there, isn't it? Tales of the Golden Monkey, something along the lines of the Disney movie of Atlantis. In fact, Atlantis has a lot to do with the back history of this game. I'm going to stop talking about it now because there is just a wee bit of meta plot buried in here that I don't want to give away, that you should really keep up with, but it's not so meta plot heavy that you can ignore it. Tonally, mood, and setting, this is sort of like Edgar Rice Burroughs, Jules Verne, Doyle. Honestly, if you're familiar with Space 1888, it's sort of like the down inside the Earth version of that. The Nazis are also running around down there. Remember, this is a 1930s type of setting, so as opposed to the 20s where most pulp games are set. So one of the key features to this game is you can really spend your time feeding Nazis to dinosaurs, which if that's not fun, I don't know what is. Engine-wise, this is unique. It uses its sort of own game. They call it the ubiquity system. It's a dice pool where you sum together your attributes and your skills, and you roll a set number of dice based on that. Unlike most where you're looking for a specific target number or you're summing them up, basically you're looking for yes or no. It's a binary system. You could go odds are 0, evens are plus. And so you could very easily build based on that. So you roll a set of dice, you get a 2, a 5, a 4, a 3, and an 8. You have every even number you have is a success or a +1. Every odd number you have is a -1. Now, you could really use any die you want to here, D4s up through D20s, as long as it has an even number of sides. That can get a little cumbersome, though, because along with this, with your characters and your skills, you have, for example, you might have a 15 die in your pool, especially after you're using a talent with it. Rolling 15 dice and even sorting out odds and even can get cumbersome. They actually produce their own ubiquity dice, which I'm sort of leery of any game that makes me buy new dice. But these actually work. They're a series of 8-sided die that what you can do with them is they're color-coded where white die are basically 1 die that you would normally roll. The reds are worth 2. The blues are worth 3. And so let's say that you have to roll 12. No, 12 is too easy. Let's say 9. You need 9. Well, you could either roll all 3 blues or 2 blues and a red or any combination thereof that gives you what you need, and you simply roll it. And this gave me 3 successes. Each die is actually coded such that it would give you the number of successes you could expect on a 50-50 chance for each grouping that it would do. For example, the 3 die gives you 1s, 2s, or 3s, or a 0, just depending on what it could give you. When we played through this, the engine itself was a little bit on the cumbersome side. It took a little bit to get used to, but it worked. It could very easily. It worked. We had a lot of fun with it. The book itself is beautiful. It is lushly illustrated. It is gorgeous. It is very worth getting into. For style, I give this book easily a 9 or a 10. For substance, it's a great game with a good setting, a lot you can sink your teeth into, and a really easy way to dig in, get yourself into the Hollow Earth, just good luck getting out again. There's a certain amount of survival built into this because you have to count your bullets, because you don't necessarily have a bullet forge down there. Like I said, 9 or 10 on style and probably just about that for substance. I recommend getting this if you like pulp, but you want a bit more focused of a genre or maybe a bit more of a gamist engine than something you would get in, say, Spirit of the Century. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Weigel. If you have any questions or comments or things you'd like to see us review, feel free to contact us at knweigel@yahoo.com. I'm your host, Kurt Weigel. Good day and good gaming.